Hey guys, Oz back here. Right now I'm doing the HBO Max movies. This is my 13 top horror movies. I did write them down in alphabetical order this time, but this is definitely not the order that I think are the top 1 through 13. I don't do that with my lists because, with the exception of very few movies, I don't consider any one particular movie my favorite. I love to watch a lot of movies. I'll watch the worst crap to the best movie ever made. Doesn't matter. I'll watch it all. I'll give everything a shot at least once to see if it's any good. So anyways, let's get started. So we got the Alien series. Again, like I said before, when I talk about a movie, especially if it's something that's direct contact, I prefer to go with the whole series. Because I don't just put on the original Alien and watch it. When I'm ready to watch that movie, I want to watch every movie in that series. I don't know what it is. And I might not do it all in one sitting. I might do it over a period of a few days or something. But I have to watch all of those movies. It's just the way I work. And as everybody knows, it's Sigourney Weaver, Tom Skerritt, Lance Henriksen, Yaphet Kotto. So many people have been in the Alien franchise. Winona Ryder. I can't think of any more off the top of my head, but there's been so many famous people in there that have really made that series an awesome series to watch. And of course, the creature designs, the xenomorphs, are just beautiful, scary creatures. It's one of those really classic, good movies to watch. And one of those movies that I watch on a regular basis. I watch it at least once a year. I watch the series. What I did this time, and I made a video about it, is I went back and I started watching it again in the order that it was supposed to be chronologically, not the order that it was released in, but the chronological order of the events in the movie. And I went back and watched it that way. And, it was the same. I really liked it. Now, this one might be a little bit controversial because a lot of people thought this movie was crap, but I really liked it. It's Annabelle Comes Home. It's in the Conjuring universe, but it's not a direct Conjuring movie. It's Ed and Lorraine Warren, and based on the Annabelle doll that they have at their house. It's a really good horror movie, in my opinion. There's not a lot of blood and guts, which I know a lot of people probably get turned off by because they're into that. It's not really psychological. It's just got a lot of jump scares, a lot of fun horror times in it. I'm a huge horror fan. I've loved horror for a long time, and I'm always looking for something that's just fun. Something that I don't have to think a lot. I don't have to wonder what's going on. I don't want to have to figure the plot out. I just want to have fun, and I want to watch a horror movie. I want to feel that anxiety. I want to feel that building in my chest. I want to feel the movie, and this has got it. Now we go to The Conjuring, where this all started, again, based on Ed and Lorraine Warren's times as paranormal investigators and a specific case that they worked on. This was the first movie that brought that Conjuring universe into existence, and in my opinion, it was really good. The way it was set up, it focuses on the family, and then Ed and Lorraine come into it, and they become the focus in their own way, but it really does focus on the little girl who's possessed. The Exorcist. This was the first movie that really scared me. Of course, it was my own fault. My parents were out of town. I was alone at my house. I decided to watch it about midnight, 1 in the morning, something like that. My first time being alone for a weekend or something like that. So there was nobody in the house, nobody around, and I decided to watch The Exorcist. Scared the crap out of me. I watched the version with the spider walk again, and that definitely puts a new aspect to the movie. It's been one that has always stayed with me, and I really like. The Blade movies. This, in my opinion, is what really kicked off the Marvel Universe coming into the movies. Wesley Snipes really played the character well. His mannerisms and his tone, and I really liked the way it was shot, the comic book aspects of it that came through, the techno music in the background. I just thought the Blade series was awesome. All three movies were really good in my opinion. The third one, especially how it left it open for more. Obviously they never did more, but it was really good. The It movies. And now when I say this one, it's, yes, It 1 and 2 that just came out a couple of years back, but also the original miniseries is on there as well, and I really like that one as well. It definitely shows the difference of what you can do with an immense budget as opposed to a TV budget. What you can do with an PG-13R rating as opposed to a TV rating system. What you can do with a time frame. Both movies have an extended play time, which gives you a lot of time to work with the characters and stuff. And obviously, when you're talking Stephen King book, you really need that because his writing is very, I'm going to say thick, but that's not the exact word I'm looking for, but it's very dense. It's very dense writing. There's a lot to it. The Jaws movies, classic. Come on. This is your man versus nature horror movie. You know, the original Jaws made people scared to go to the beach. Night of the Living Dead. Obviously, any horror list that I have, at least, is going to have the granddaddy of them all. 1968, black and white, shoestring budget. George Romero comes out and he becomes the godfather of the zombie genre. Without George Romero, we wouldn't have the movies we have today. We wouldn't have that genre that we have today. We wouldn't have television shows that we have if he hadn't made this movie. And even for people who are not into black and white movies, you can find a colorized version of it. It's good. But there's something about sitting down and watching that movie in black and white as it was shot is just awesome. The original Poltergeist. Not the new one that came out a couple of years back. This is the original Poltergeist, guys. The one with Michelle O'Rourke and Tom Skerritt. A lot of people think the movie's cursed. A lot of stuff happened on set and stuff like that. But it is a damn good movie. If you're looking for scares, it's got it. If you're looking for just tense action throughout, this has it. It's got a few comedic parts too, which really keep it light and running. The Saw movies, with the exception of Jigsaw, they're all on HBO Max right now. So if you're looking for a hard horror movie, this is definitely something more suited to certain people. Not everybody's going to like the Saw movies. You have to be of a certain type to watch them. And really, there's a story there in the background, a moral story and things like that, but a lot of it is horror for horror's sake, which I won't argue with. Like I said, I really love horror. So to me, I don't mind that it's horror for horror's sake. John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982. Another movie that I just have seen I don't know how many times and I go back to continuously. I did see the updated version. It was good, but the original the 82 version, I should say. It's not the original. That itself was a remake. But this one was really good. the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Anybody who grew up in the 80s, that was kind of our go-to horror, I think, for a lot of us who were into the horror genre. Again, it did have a lot of spots of comedy in it, so it kind of lightened the mood at times, and it was that supernatural type horror, and the kind of horror that could never happen, wasn't based on true story or anything like that. Obviously, the premise of it is not something that could truly happen, so it kind of became one of those movies that you could just be like, I know it's never going to happen, but I'm going to watch it because it's fun. And the Scream movies, again, this was something that kind of revolutionized the genre when it came around, because it became the first self-aware movie. Within the movie itself, it started calling out tropes of horror movies and how they affect the storytelling of it. And by doing so, they kind of threw the whole genre on its own head and called it out and said, what are you guys doing here? It came across really well. It worked for a lot of people. I mean, obviously they made multiple movies and are currently making a new one of it, so it worked. And of course, if you're going to talk about it, you got to talk about the fact that it was Wes Craven. Wes Craven, who originally came up with Freddy Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street. So it all goes back to a guy who had forethought, who put a lot of effort and work into it. And the way he shot this movie and made it a satire on the genre itself really resonated with a lot of people. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed my list. Remember to like and subscribe. And don't forget to go and click that little bell icon to get notifications when my new stuff comes up. I know some of the stuff I put in there are probably controversial, and I hope that it sparks some kind of conversation. If it does, throw me a comment. Let me know what you thought of this list and what you thought could be changed on it. I hope you guys like it. Later guys, Oz out.